What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black. It's STEVEE the Black. I'm back. Oh man. So, I know it's been about a week or two since you've seen me. You know how I said I was going to do a video every week leading up to opening kickoff, and well, last week was a very hectic week, long week, and I just could not get an opportunity to do the video. So the video that I was going to do last week has to also do with this week's. So I'm just going to combine them together and give it to you guys that way, straight. So the video I'm going to do is talking about the teams who I believe are going to the playoffs, and teams I believe who are going to the playoffs, and give my thoughts about each one. Now, some of them are obvious, some of them are not, but just hear me out. So here we go. We're gonna start with the NFC, which was I was gonna do last week. Starting off with the NFC East, obviously the Birds, I believe, are the most talented team in the NFC East, and I believe they are going to repeat a first-time repeat champion in the NFC East since 2004, when the Eagles did it from 01 to 04. It's been a long time since we had a repeat champion in the division, as I said, but I believe the Eagles are the most talented. That being said, I know a lot of people are scared and out of their mind about what they've been seeing in the preseason, especially with Nick Foles, with this offense, but the defense has looked great, so that's a good thing. Here's what I'm going to have to say, and I said it 2 weeks ago. I said you have to believe, especially after everything that we saw last year when Carson Wentz went down, and we all thought the season was over, it was done with, but we said, or more specifically, I said, I would not rather have another backup quarterback than Nick Foles. Had we still had Chase Daniels, I would have been with you. But the fact that we had Nick Foles, I said, look, I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if we can make a run. But if there's anybody who I want to have as my backup quarterback, it would be Nick Foles. And Nick Foles went on, and he struggled in the beginning, but then he went on this incredible run and won us the Super Bowl. The thing that I've constantly tried to tell Addy and some other Eagles fans that I've talked to and other Eagles fans that I've seen, the real offense is not out there. And I'm not even talking about the play call. I'm talking about actual players. Jason Peters isn't out there. Darren Sproles isn't out there. Corey Clement isn't out there. Jay Ajayi isn't out there. Nelson Aguilar isn't out there. Mike Wallace, I don't think, was out there. Who else isn't out there? Alshon Jeffrey's not out there. So the real offense is not out there. Now, I will say, I have no idea why the offensive line is looking the way they look. Maybe they're just playing not to get hurt. But again, I don't know. But and it's kind of crazy for me to say, oh, well, the Eagles, as soon as they get their real players back, they're just going to click back together. They haven't played. They practiced together, or I think, a little bit, but they have not played together. It is what it is. I just believe in this team. The Dallas Cowboys, all they have is Ezekiel Elliott. The Giants, they're probably our biggest threat in the division. Washington is Washington. They're a good team. They're not a bad or horrible team, but they're a good team. But I think overall the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East still, and I think they have what it takes to win the division with Carson Wentz or Nick Foles. Speaking of that, Doug Peterson will know who the starting quarterback is on Friday. So by the end of the week, he will know. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see who. A lot of people think it's going to be Carson Wentz. If it is, by all means, I'm happy for him. He achieved his goal, and it'll be great to see him out there. But if it's Nick Foles, then I just hope he shuts the doubters out one more time. Just to prove to you that, hey, remember, I am the Super Bowl MVP. I made Swiss cheese out of the number one ranked defense. I went toe to toe with Tom Brady and outdueled him, despite the fact that he threw over for 500 yards. I did that. I beat him. I outgunned him. One more time. Just prove it one more time. But, Anyway, so next, I believe the Eagles win the NFC East. Next, we have the Los Angeles Rams. I believe they are the best team in the West. I believe they win. It's amazing how a couple of years ago it was all Seattle and now it's the Los Angeles Rams. Some might think that it's going to be the 49ers because of Jimmy G. Jimmy G is going to have a full season under his belt. He will not be undefeated. They're not going 16-0. I just think the Rams are better. They're the most stacked. They're the ones who... This is basically their season of Super Bowl or bust. It's Super Bowl or bust for the Rams this year. And if they don't do it, they have a lot of personalities on that team it's not going to go too well if things don't go right. So, have the Rams. In the NFC South, I have the Saints. I think the Saints... That division is tough because you can make a case for the Panthers and you can make a case for the Falcons, considering that the Super Bowl is going to be in Atlanta this year. But I think that the Saints are still the better team because they have the best quarterback in the division, which is Drew Brees. So, plus, he's got the running game with Alvin Kamara and everything. And he's got an above-average defense. He doesn't have a great defense, but he has an above-average defense. It's not as horrible as it was in years past, so... But I think the Saints have more than enough. And finally, we have the NFC North. And I actually have the Vikings winning the North. Why? Because despite the fact that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, is coming back, it's about the team. And one man cannot do it himself. Aaron Rodgers carries that Packers team. And the Falcons are a better team than the Vikings are a better team than the Packers. And because of that, I am picking. Now you can say, oh, it's Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers. I get it. But Kirk Cousins has a better team than Aaron Rodgers does, which means I believe that the Vikings will be winning the division. So there's that. But when we get to the wild card round, I do have the Packers claiming a wild card spot because, as I said, he's a bad man. That's right. I may be Stevie the Black, but I do agree with Stephen A. when he calls that man a bad man. And Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. And they missed the playoffs last year, but I guarantee you they will not miss the playoffs this year because he's back and he's on... trying to win his second Super Bowl. Next, the second team I have in the wild card in the NFC, I have the Atlanta Falcons. Why? Because the Super Bowl is going to be in Atlanta, and that is going to be motivation. That is what's going to keep them in the race in the NFC South. It might be a race between those two teams, and as I said, Carolina could sneak up and beat both of them. But because the Super Bowl is in Atlanta, I believe they'll be in the race, and I believe they will be that second wild card. So look out for the Atlanta Falcons, although they're really no threat. They are not the juggernaut that they were a couple years ago. And even when they were, we beat them. And then last year when they were good defensively, we still beat them. So regardless of what you think, I'm not worried too much about the Falcons. Next, we move on to the AFC. And we're starting with the AFC East. And despite the fact that the Patriots just don't look anything special, they are still in the AFC East with the two quarterbacks in that division who are rookies, so don't expect them to be anything. And then you got the Miami Dolphins with Ryan Tannehill. It's the Patriots division until one of those other two quarterbacks grows up and matures. So as long as that happens, Patriots, no need to longer discuss it. My friend Addy, he said that that this is Tom Brady's last year, that he's going to fall off a cliff like Max Kellerman says, that it's not going to be anything special. And I would agree. I would love to be the team that ended the Patriots dynasty, which I still think we are, but I'm just saying, because the AFC East is so weak, well, what are you going to do? It's their division still. Next, we have the AFC North, and I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't see the Browns have improved a lot. They might be in second place. I don't know. From what I've seen of Baker Mayfield and Tyrod Taylor, they both look pretty good. They got a pretty good team, great defensively. I think the Browns could be in second place. maybe an 8-8 team. Then you got the Ravens and the Bengals. Anybody worried about them? And so, I mean, Jackson in Baltimore, but again, he's a rookie, so But then we move on to the AFC South, and I believe the Jaguars are going to win strictly not because of their quarterback, not because of their running game, because they're nothing more than a better version of Dallas. But it's because of their defense. Their defense is still big time with Jalen Ramsey and those boys on that defensive side of the ball. Blake Bortles, can he be playoff Bortles? And if he is, then the Jaguars can be a legitimate threat to the AFC. But I don't know if Blake Bortles can play that consistent. And because of that, they're going to rely heavily on their defense. As I heard the other day, it's defense first, Fournette second, Blake Bortles third. And that is the formula until either Blake Bortles steps up and playoff Bortles throughout the whole year, or they get a better quarterback. But we move on to the AFC West, and I have the Chargers winning that division because this one was the toughest one for me because I look at the Texans, I'm thinking, okay, they're getting, not the Texans. I'm looking at the division, you got the Broncos with Case Keenum. He had a great year last year. Then you got the Raiders with John Gruden. He's got a lot to prove, hasn't coached in a while, got that big deal, $100 million, I believe, for over 10 years, I believe it is. And then you got the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. This could go I can make a case for any of those teams, but I'm going with Chargers because Philip Rivers is now the most experienced quarterback in that division. Well, he always was, but I believe they still have I don't even want to say the best team because that's the Kansas City Chiefs. The only reason why I'm not picking the Chiefs is because Patrick Mahomes is still a rookie. He played one game last year at the end when it didn't mean anything. And, a lot of people rave about him, if he's... do I trust Andy Reid that he made the right pick at quarterback? Probably, yeah, because he did pick Donovan McNabb. And we all know how good Donovan was. So, he could essentially be something. But then again, I could make a case for the Broncos. With Von Miller and that crew, defense still pretty good. I just don't know. But the Chargers have a defense, of their own. They've got tons of weapons. Philip Rivers got something to prove, so I'm going to go with Philip Rivers. But you really could make a case for any team in that division, which is why it's so hard. And then finally, for my first wild card team, I do have the Texans. Deshaun Watson, he's explosive. As soon as he went down, that team collapsed like a certain Super Bowl championship team that we know. And I think, Deshaun Watson he's an exciting player. He is. But the thing is, and maybe because he was a rookie, I don't know, but he was in a lot of games last year against the Patriots, against Seattle, against Kansas City. And while he put on exciting games, he never finished the job. So he could, with another year, with and recovering from the ACL and everything, he could do something a little bit more this year, be a little bit more careful, whatever, but we shall see. But I think they have enough talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball, to possibly make the wild card. And then for my last wild card, again, I was iffy on this one. I have the Raiders. You could make a case for the Chiefs. You could make a case for the Broncos. Because I don't really see any other team. You could say the Titans, but, they have a new coach, so they're going to have to interpret a new system. So we'll definitely see. But, like I said, if it's coming from the West, it could be any team. That's the hardest team I had to pick because I had no clue who to pick. But those are my playoff teams for the year. Just to go through it real quick, in the NFC, I have the Eagles, the Rams, the Saints, the Vikings, the Packers, and the Falcons. And in the AFC, I got the Patriots, Steelers, Jags, Chargers, Texans, and Raiders. It should be a good year of football. Football is back next Thursday, opening night, when the Eagles drop that banner. I'm going on a cruise. I'll be back Monday. I'm going on a cruise I'm leaving Friday and I'll be back Monday. I think it's only like a 4-day cruise. But I'll be back Monday. And when I get back Monday, I am doing my predictions video. Normally I probably would have done it Sunday, but because I'm going to be out, when I get back, I'm going to do it Monday. Have a very special entrance. I've been waiting for this day. And you will hear me say the words, because the Eagles, despite everything you've seen in preseason about who's playing and who's not playing, about who's injured and who's not injured, the fact of the matter is this: the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, are still your reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions. And until someone knocks them off, there's always a chance. And let's make history and try to repeat. So with that being said, that is about it. And until next time, if you're not down with that, I've just got 3 words for you. Fly, Eagles, fly. Peace out, y'all.